A lot of you guys only care about what's happening in Israel and Palestine because it's trendy.
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then click on the subscribe button. I promise you will find my videos intriguing. Don't forget to like and be part of the commenters squad. Let's get the channel to 20k. With that said, let's get into the video. So in this video, a lady's video goes viral after she was heard saying that the only reason people are talking about Palestine and posting what is happening is because it's only a trend at the moment. Nothing much, nothing less, but this is the only reason. Now she goes on to say that this is true because she never hears people talking about the genocide happening in China or the literal modern day slavery that is used to produce fast fashion clothes, obviously because it's not mainstream and it's not a trend. Now, before we go any further, do you, my viewers, agree? Do you think she is saying the truth? Drop those comments down below in the comment section. For now, check out her video for more information as she expresses herself. I will be right back.
Y'all won't agree with me on this, but I don't care. A lot of you guys only care about what's happening in Israel and Palestine because it's trendy. Before y'all start blowing up my comments saying people are literally dying, yes. Okay, it is horrible, it is horrendous, no one's denying that. What I need you guys to understand is I am talking about a very specific group of people. These people are the TikTok activists, the people who will care about this for a few months, and then after that they're gonna remove the Israeli and Palestinian flag from their username. It's literally the same thing that we saw with Ukraine and BLM. Y'all were posting your little black squares and now you wanna act like you don't even know what police brutality means. Like y'all just have a superiority complex where you can pride yourself about speaking out. But you know what's crazy? I don't hear any of you guys talking about genocide that's happening in China or the literal modern day slavery that is used to produce your fast fashion clothes that you're wearing. It's because it's not mainstream and it's not a trend, so it doesn't boost your ego to speak out on it, to speak out. You think that by doing the bare minimum, like posting an infographic, that gives you the right to mount some podium and then dictate how everybody else should respond to this event. These are the same people who will go to war day in, day out, screaming at celebrities and influencers to speak on one of the most complicated and controversial issues of probably the decade. If you are spending all of your energy getting mad and fighting with people in the TikTok comment section about which celebrities are and are not speaking out, you do not care about the real problem. All I'm gonna say is that if you wanted to make real change, you would not waste your time trying to talk to influencers and celebrities. You would go and speak to your politicians because they'll actually make a difference.
It is social media, and of course people have to critique and comment. Different people have reacted and stitched the lady's video. In as much as it is a trend, I feel the atrocities being done to Palestinian people is something that people have to talk about. Has talking and posting about this issue helped in any way? I feel so, because it has helped a lot of people know what has been going on for a long time now and has revealed a lot of things. Well, some people agree with her and some might disagree, but let's check out these teachers and hear what others had to say about this video. I will be right back.
Israel and Palestine because it's trendy.
I think you should speak for yourself. A lot of us see what's going on in Israel and Palestine, and we see it's an atrocity, a human rights violation, and we need to speak up about it. This whole take seems like projection to me. Just because you care about it, because you think it's something trendy, doesn't mean that's the reason that the rest of us care about it. The rest of us see what's going on and we realize that something has to be done about it, and we're going to talk about it until something's done about it. That's why we're protesting, that's why we're marching, that's why we're boycotting. And you turned off your stitches to your video, so I think you know that this is a bad take. And just with the one look through your page, the fact that you're a Swiftie, it tracks. Performative activism seems to be you guys' bread and butter, and also accountability seems to be your kryptonite. The talking point of it being trendy just seems like a way to derail the conversation and try to get us to move on and talk about something else instead of the side that's going on in the Middle East. I can't reiterate this enough. There's a shift going on with what's going on with our consciousness. We're realizing what's important and how much everything is a distraction.
Care about what's happening in Israel and Palestine because it's trendy.
I think you should speak for yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in here and say that maybe, just maybe, it's because we're seeing all of these atrocities that are taking place and watching hundreds of thousands of people being displaced, being injured, being murdered. Can I say that? Can I say murdered? We'll see if this gets taken down. But we're seeing all of that in very real time for the first time. Like, social media has never been as powerful as it is right now in this moment. And perhaps the reason that you haven't seen us speak about it in the past is because when we were growing up, we were always told that it was too complicated of an issue or a conflict or what have you. But now we're realizing, no, it's actually not that complicated, especially when one side is being affected like far more than the other. So there's that. But yeah, I hey, I would say maybe instead of saying that it's trendy or being a trend, maybe we've just all realized that we were lied to, and that it's not complicated, and that we can and should speak out about it. And maybe it's because we care about others rather than just ourselves, which is crazy, I know.
It's trendy.
Well, I believe that people are only caring about Palestine because it's a trend. No, I don't at all, actually. What I believe causes the short duration of quote unquote activism that we see is people not really knowing how much it takes to be part of a movement. It's a very long-term process, and there are going to be moments where you feel low and you feel hopeless. People are experiencing that hopelessness alone, like in their rooms. Sometimes people's families aren't as, engaged. Sometimes their friends aren't as engaged, and it's hard convincing people via internet. What happens is they feel that hopelessness. They feel like there's nothing they can do, so they kind of drop off and fade away. However, I encourage people to find community in these moments, to leave your house if you can. Go to the protests, go to the die-ins, go to the vigils, go to the movie nights, go to the teach-ins, everything. Go and meet people. It's important to meet people and build that community, because the community, they keep you going, because first of all, they're ready for action, and then now you can be a part of planning actions and feeling like, okay, like we can do this, like we're planning, we're moving, we're making movement. If you can't, join online spaces like One Community. I'm going to tag them down below. They have a Discord where you can be a part of like virtual ways to be involved, and they'll keep you going and they'll be your support system. It's important to have people there for you when that hopelessness hits, because it hits all of us. It hits all the time. The other night I was in tears. I was literally feeling I could not do this. My schoolwork's piling up. But my friend was like, no, relax. Start your homework. And they sat with me on the phone while I did my homework. And my other friend the next day also sat with me as I did my homework. And I actually have another session with him to help me with my homework today. And exactly, you need community. You need friends. You need people to be around, because no movement works with one person by themselves. So I suggest finding your community that helps you. And then that way, this doesn't have to be a trend. And this movement, since it's so connected with every other movement, can actually help us push for long-lasting change for everybody.
And I feel we need to check out the comment section. It's been really long since I shared views from people in the comment section. And I feel for this video, we really need to check what they had to say about this particular one. The first comment reads, even if it's trendy, people are still spreading awareness, which is good. Now, I will be mixing comments because I am just reading them at random. This one agrees with the creator of the video and says, I just watched the video and I think you took her point out of context, because she was right. TikTok activists treat it as a trend, just as they did with BLM. But she does have a point. A lot of people didn't care about Palestine, even though this conflict has been going on for years. Now is the only time people are caring. This one says, if it was trendy, it would have only lasted for 2 weeks, but here we are 2 months later, and I'm so proud of everyone. When people say things like that, it's a confession of their character and nothing more. Yeah, because Unalive Kids is so trendy. Give me a break. People actually care. How hard is that to get? Her whole page is being a diehard Taylor Swift defender. She doesn't care about people. I care because if they can get away with that over there and these other countries, they can do that same thing to us as well. Now, people like her only have criticism of people who are trying to make a difference. They never try to help anyone themselves. And now go look at her comments. It's just full of Zionists being like, OMG, you are so right. Do they not consider that maybe times are different? We have access to news like never before. A lot of us were also still in schools back then. A lot do not see what is happening. Stop trying to save it, because people are making that war a trend, and it's a fact. I'm not gonna sit here and say she's wrong because she's not. I know so many people who make videos for clout, and we are not going to act like it ain't the truth. Wow, so many views from different people, some agreeing and some disagreeing, which even reminds me of something I came across. Now, this is something that relates, or something that is similar to what this creator is talking about in the video. It reads, "Free Palestine, people are generally speaking in it for the trend." Now, this person wrote, "I want to preface this by saying I do not support Israel or Hamas. I'm also an atheist and I have absolutely no issue against Jews or Muslims, and I consider myself central on the political compass. This post is not politically, religiously, or racially charged. This has nothing to do with the actual countries of Palestine and Israel themselves. I'm referring to the people you see online who live in Western countries, who spam every social media comment section with Free Palestine, have Palestinian flag profile pictures, and march in the streets for a ceasefire in Palestine. The ones who will comment, how can you focus on this when there's a genocide in Gaza right now? My view is that generally speaking, these people don't actually care all that much about raising awareness for armed conflict and the devastation it leaves for the civilians. I'm not saying all of them, just generally speaking, at least 50% anyway. I think that they're jumping on the bandwagon because showing support for Palestine is trendy right now, and it's the right thing to do right now to show that you're a morally sound person, that you care for the little guy and whatnot. I think this is because there are literally more armed conflicts than I could count all across the planet happening right now, with many of these armed conflicts, especially in Africa, having far higher unalived tolls, cruelty, destruction, and impacted displaced civilians that have been going on longer than the current Israel versus Palestine war. And yet there's been absolutely zero mention or awareness raises from anyone anywhere online about them. I mean, these Free Palestine people claim to care about the innocent children impacted by war, but seemingly they only care about the children when they are Palestinian, because currently Sudan is the biggest child displacement crisis in the world right now, caused by war, with over 3 million children from Sudan fleeing their country because of the war. And yet, have you ever seen a Free Sudan comment? There are currently over 40 million forcibly displaced civilians from armed conflicts across the continent of Africa. To put it into perspective, currently the amount of armed conflicts all around the world sits at Middle East and North Africa. 45 armed conflicts, Africa 35 plus armed conflicts, Asia 21 armed conflicts, Europe 7 armed conflicts, Latin America 6 armed conflicts. Now, out of this large selection of armed conflicts to choose from to raise awareness for, to spam it in comment sections to prove to the world that they are a morally sound person, they all happen to choose this one conflict that is in the biggest conflict, not the bloodiest conflict, not the cruelest conflict, not the most destructive conflict, not the highest unalived toll conflict, not the conflict with the most impacted civilians, not the most needless, ill-founded conflict out there, not the conflict with the biggest impact to children, not the biggest humanitarian crisis. No, they for some reason seem to only care about the conflict in Palestine, but they do this whilst claiming their moral superiority over you for being more aware about wars and humanitarian crises. And mysteriously, a good amount of these people prior to the Israel versus Palestine conflict never posted, commented, raised awareness about any of these other conflicts. So I can't even pin this down to their attention just being solely preoccupied by this conflict, and then they would have been doing the same for a different conflict if this wasn't happening. I genuinely believe that certainly not all, but a good amount, probably the vast majority of them, have only jumped on the Palestine bandwagon because it's the trendy thing to do right now, and that they do it to feel good about themselves for establishing their moral superiority over people. My view is a lot of them are in it for the trend, not because they genuinely really care about raising awareness for those impacted by war, because if they genuinely did care about that, then you'd see these people talking about other armed conflicts too. God forbid, maybe even ones that aren't viral on TikTok. Okay, this is what this person wrote, and I feel it is similar to what this creator is talking about. We have come to the end of the video. Share your views on what you think about this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.